Hello everybody, Hellcrix here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode, 346. Alright, today we're talking about the Demolisher Heavy Tank. Yes, the 100-ton vehicle that is the bloated brother of the standard Demolisher, which was 80 tons. This is now 100. And it has a little bit more advanced weaponry that you don't find on the standard Demolisher. And it comes at the cost of 20 more tons and more armor. Alright, the Demolisher 2 is a 3.5 mover. Comes in at a little over, 1,600 battle value. So a little pricey, but you do have a fusion engine on board. It has 10 free heat sinks, which don't get used, well, obviously, because with the weapons loadout, the standard version isn't going to use them. We do have 14.5 tons of ferrofiber slab armor tossed on board this thing for 259 points, so it's well armored. But typically, my experience is it may not get killed by penetration through its armor type, but it usually gets a mobility killed that direction, or just becomes a pillbox. Right. So that's one of the problems with all vehicles. And then we have weapons loadout, which is kind of interesting how they do this. We have an LBX 20 in the turret with 4 tons of ammo. We have an AC-20 Ultra with 4 tons of ammo. And we have 2 machine guns on the front with a half ton of ammo and case. All right, so we got 2 tons wrapped up in anti-infantry, straight leg stuff. Yeah, that's kind of useful if you're doing a combined arms type of campaign where you have to worry about such things. A lot of people play Battletech without infantry, but you don't know what you're missing. It's like you get guys come in, show up, and it's like, you got to kill infantry. And you're only doing one or 2 points of damage per. You're like, this will take forever. If you had a machine gun or a flamer, this would go quickly. All right. Now, the weapons loadout. All right, I like the LBX because you shoot somebody with an LBX, especially another vehicle, or heck, you got a VTOL or something come flying by, you're like, hey, I'm going to shotgun them. And you hit, and a lot of times, yeah, you're doing 1 point here, 1 point there. Or you can use the 20 block if you want to. That's 2 tons of each. So you could be shotgunning, or you can be doing solid shot. Yeah, that's kind of nice. You hit a vehicle with an LBX 20, and typically you're going to get 12 hits, 1-pointers. You're going to probably hit them with a few mobility shots where they're going to be dropped down to, or just plain old stuck in the mud. They're not going anywhere because you just wiped all their mobility. That's pretty typical when it comes to vehicles. And if you hit them in the flank, oh, so much the better. And also the wonderful thing is that you can shotgun other mechs, hit them with this thing, and you have a chance of doing criticals or those floating crit type problems. That's kind of nice. Nice thing about the LBX, especially an LBX 20. And then we have the AC-20 Ultra. Okay. This is the old double pumper. Typically, if you really want to tear armor off, you can use the solid shot with the LBX, and then you can hit them with the double shot with the Ultra Cannon. So you have a potential of doing up to 60 damage. Or you can do, this is probably typically how you're going to do it. You're going to double pump, hope that you get 2. You got to roll an 8 or better to get the second shot to hit anyway. So you might have 2 20s and you follow up. If you're hitting a mech with a couple 20 blocks, you're probably going to punch some holes through most mechs. And then you hit them with the LBX and you're going to crit the heck out of them. So that's the nice thing, kind of a nice combination. So you have that going for it in one way. Now, you could have easily just said, hey, I want to save another ton, and gone with a route of adding it like an ER medium laser or something, or even more ammo, is go the route of 2 LBX 20s. Go that route. You're going to save a ton there, and then you could either add one more ton of ammo or throw an ER medium laser or something. Or if you go the route, now this is the problem is that if you go the route of 2 LBX, or not LBX, but 2 Ultra 20s, you got to find a ton someplace. And that's going to come at the expense of the machine guns. So, yeah, it's like you're going to have to either lose the case and a machine gun to upgrade the other autocannon. So you got that problem going for it. So I can see it's easier to go the LBX down route and save a ton here or there for more ammo or a different weapon system. Or you got to cut stuff off, you know, to figure out how you're going to make this balance. Another way is just, if you're pulling a ton of armor off this thing, to add another ultra cannon. So there's that problem. But then you got 4 tons, so you're going to go 10 turns of shooting out twice. So there is potential of doing up to 80 points of damage. Let me tell you, if you got hit with 2 Ultra 20s and they both connected, yeah, you really feel it. There's not many mechs out there that can even handle 80 points of damage in one block, especially when they hit in the same spot. So there's that going for it. So either way you look at it, the Demolisher 2 is basically, it's kind of your typical assault vehicle. So it's going to go in there, slowly crawl into position, and just start hammering away as it slowly trundles forward. Now, there's a couple other versions of this thing. Not that I'm overly a big fan of some of these. There's a Thunderbolt version. Okay, this one replaces the autocannons for a pair of Thunderbolt 20 missile launchers and a turret. They have 10 tons of ammunition for them, and it also has a Streak 6 launcher and a pair of ER medium lasers for up close. So now this comes in at 2,300 battle value versus a 1,600, so it's a heck of a lot more expensive. You're looking at 700 more, and it also has an XL fusion engine instead of the standard fusion engine. So there's some drawbacks with this. Is okay, if you're not facing against anybody that's got anti-missile system, not a problem. And then you're hitting the Thunderbolt launchers, you can do 20 and 20. So there's that. So you do have some little extra range with it versus the standard LBX and the Ultra. But if you're facing off against a group of mechs that have missile launchers or anti-missile systems, you're going to knock one of them down. If both hit, then you're going to knock it down. Now, if you're running in a lance of these things, or half a lance, coming in pairs, yeah, that's a bit, it's like you focus on one mech, yeah, something's going to get through. Okay, there is that. So, but something's going to get shot down. If only one of your 4 hit and they got an anti-missile system, they just look at you and go, sucks to be you. So there's that problem. So a little more expensive, but up close and personal, it does have some capability, but it's not much. The ranges aren't that different. So you got that. There's that difference. So I'm not a big fan of the Thunderbolt launcher version. Now there's the MML version. This comes with a Guardian ECM and 4 MML 9s with Artemis. All right, with 7 tons of ammunition. This comes in at 1,400 battle value. A little cheaper. So, yeah, it's like with MMLs, typically you're probably going to have either 4 ER ranged systems or 4 and 3. It's just how you want to balance it out with the SRM ammo versus extended range. Now, if you could sit these way in the back with them, you know, they don't have to move or anything. Yeah, you can outrange a lot of stuff unless you're facing off against clan ER large lasers, which then, yeah, you're going to be in range, definitely. But for the price, this might be an option to think about. Yeah, you can lay down some good amount of damage out at the long range, and if somebody gets close, then you just swap out your ammo type and then just start smashing away. And you might even consider going with 1 ton of maybe 3 and 3 and 1 for the middle range stuff, to at least do some 2-pointers. So that's an option. Now, this is an interesting one I've seen before. It's the Demolisher X. Okay. This one carries on the, I believe this was on the front slope, an improved heavy Gauss rifle. Okay. And it's like improved takes care of that heavy problem, you know, that the minus there. So it kind of counterbalances each other. And it has a pair of Ultra 10s. Yes, you heard that. Ultra 10 clan style. So you're double pumping with clan Ultra 10s. Okay. And it has a light fusion engine. It's kind of a best of both worlds. So you're throwing some clan tech on board. And it comes in at a little over 1,900 battle value. So it's a little more expensive. It has a heavy ferrofibrous armor on board with case. And, you know, that's 13.5 tons of that. So, yes, you do have the armor's upped a bit. So, you do have some range with the autos, ultra cannons, and the heavy Gauss. So, all right, the old throat's clogging up here. The improved heavy Gauss rifle on the front slope. So, yes, this is pretty much, still falls under the assault style vehicle. And then when you do get in closer with the heavy Gauss rifle, then you're going to start cranking out some, a lot of damage with that. So you're going to punch some holes into individuals. They're not going to like you too much, but, you know, it is what it is when you look in the grand scheme of things. And I do believe the heavy Gauss rifle, yeah, that's 20. So yeah, that gets out there. And then the clan Gauss rifle, or yeah, so they're very compatible with each other when it comes to range. So yeah, if you slowly trundle forward, or you park it someplace on a hill or some heavy woods or something, and then just start banging away at people until you run the ammo bays dry, yeah, that will be an interesting little combination compared to the standard Demolisher 2. But overall, it is an interesting vehicle. I've seen it on the table a few times, let's say at Gen Con and stuff. I do have, might have 1 or 2 that I've painted up before for a collection. So it's not very often you see these things, considering that the era that it pops out. So a lot of times we finish our campaign era, get run out of steam about the time this thing's available. So it doesn't see the table very much. So that's the Demolisher 2. An interesting possibility compared to the standard Demolisher. And one version that they don't talk about, which would be interesting, instead of having a ultra cannon, swap it out for a pair of Gauss rifles, just standard Gauss rifles, and just increase the range a bit. Yeah, you're doing 15 versus 20, but you know, you don't have to close too, or even heck, if you have the capability to throw a C3 on board, that'd be a total wob thing to do. All right, so that is the Demolisher 2. Yep, an interesting vehicle. Give her a shot, throw a proxy on the table, and just tell me what you think of it. All right, this is Hellcrex.